Hey everybody, so I am back today with another mindset and money talk, right? So today we are going to get into some mindset skills, right? And also some money skills. We're going to get into that later on. But I've been getting people that knew me, I've been getting a lot of congratulations on my journey, or a lot of people just ask me, how did I change? How did I go from you know being abandoned by my mom at the age of 2, going living in being in foster care from the age of 11 till I got grown, and then being a dancer in the club at the age of 17. And I did that for 9 years. And most of the time when people are stuck in a cycle, in a rhythm for that long, for that amount of a time, you guys got to think, like, my first job, like my first real job at 17 years old was the strip club, right? So for someone like that, like, that was my life, that was all that I knew. And a lot of people, they look at me now and they're like blown away at the transformation. And I always tell them, like, when they ask me, I tell them that they have to change their environment. And when I tell them that, they think that I'm talking about move somewhere, right? A lot of people tell me, I want to move to Houston. Like, they see me, they see I've been here since 2020, and that I've been thriving and sustaining, right? And so in 2020 wasn't the time that I changed my environment, right? And so I named this call New Environments, New Life, because I really need people to understand that when I talk about environment, I'm not just talking about where you live or where you physically put yourself. As humans, we simultaneously live in multiple environments at once. We have our, physical environment where we live geographically, the house, the type of house or apartment or condo that we live in. We have our spiritual environment. We have our mental environment. And we have our social environment, right? And so I could be totally transparent and tell you that I had already changed my environment when I was still in Florida, right? My environment was already changed before I got on the road and brought me and my son to Houston. And what do I mean by that? I tell people, it is not the place that can change you. It's you as a person that has to change. So before you can say you want to move yourself into this physical new environment, it's other environments that you have to change first, right? My environment was already changed before I went to Houston. That last step of me changing my physical geographical environment, that was just what sealed the deal. But I was already evolving before then. And so today I really want to talk to everybody about changing your environments. If you look at the title of this call, environments has an S on the end, right? Signaling that it's more than one environment that you put yourself in. So we're going to break this down. So number one, the first environment that you need to change, and if you don't change this environment, no other environments will be able to sustain you. And that is your mental environment. See, I was in the club at the age of 17 for 9 years. I had my same friends for all those years. Rewind to me being in foster care. I had the same foster sisters that we hung out, got in trouble together, everything. I had to change my mind, my mental state to get to where I am right now. See, we have a default. We're just like, we're energy. We're just like a phone or computer. We have a default setting. The way that we were raised, the things that, we saw coming up, our parents, our family, our social circles, it all affects our mental environment. So you live in default mode from an early age without you even knowing it. So once you turn 18 and become an adult, you are just a product of the mental, physical, spiritual environments that were embedded in you at a young age. So once you become an adult, you have the control to, take back the power in those environments, right? And so the first thing that you have to do is change that mental environment. And we weren't taught, well, I don't know about you, but I wasn't taught about, the subconscious mind and speaking things as though you already have it. But you literally have to change your mental environment and start personally developing yourself. Keyword, personal development. That means it's you're developing yourself. It has nothing to do with anybody else. You cannot change anything until you change your mind, because your mind, if you really want to be serious, your mind is what creates everything. You see, when I was in the club, I could not fathom going to work on somebody's job, because my mindset was go to work, get paid that same day at the same time that you work. So I was actually kind of scared to get a real job, because I'm like, I gotta wait 2 weeks or I gotta wait a week, and I'm used to getting paid daily. So I had to change my mental state of how I viewed life, money, how money was supposed to work. Like, I had to change that environment, right? And so also with the mind, you have to understand that, when you look around at your peers and you see that you all are on the same level, is that okay with you? Right? Is that okay with you? If somebody told you that your self-worth, your bank account, your income was linked to the 5 people that you hang around the most, are you happy with that? Are you happy with that? And so when we talk about changing environments, you have to literally change your mind before you can change anything. We have to get out of the living in the past. For so long, I let my story hold me back. And I know it's a lot of you all like that. You went through divorce. You went through tribulations. You went through, heartaches, betrayals. You went through different things. And you're living in that. For the longest time, even up until I was an adult, way past adulthood, I probably just stopped living in that story this past year. But do you guys know, I was living in the story of being a foster child. Like, I was letting things hold me back because I said, well, I didn't have this, or I was in foster care, or I spent too much time in the club. Like, I literally was living in my old story. And that's in your mental. So you really have to write down that story that you keep telling yourself that is limiting you. And you have to change it. Right? I can tell you guys, like, people take this for granted, but reading books, listening to audio, listening to self-development, that can really change your entire life. Because your peers are your peers for a reason. They're on your level, right? You're trying to elevate above your level. When I was in the club, nobody told me, Unika, you could be investing and making money that way. Nobody told me, Unika, you could be an entrepreneur. They can't tell you better because they don't know it themselves. Right? Your peers cannot tell you better because they don't know it themselves. Your parents cannot tell you better because they don't know it themselves. They've never done it. Right? So In order for you to elevate and rise and create a new mental environment, because we're going to get into other environments, but in order for you to create a good mental environment, you have to start getting personally developed. When I wake up in the morning, I don't open my phone. Actually, I do open my phone. I open it to listen to Abraham Hicks, Bob Proctor, Jim Rohn, Miles Monroe. When I open up my phone in the morning, I have to listen to personal development. Your mind is like an infant when you wake up. Your mind is like an infant when you wake up. The first hour of your day, whatever you're pouring your mental into, that is what's going to control your day. If you get up and you opening apps, social media apps, and checking stuff before you even can brush your teeth or meditate or just get in a good mental state in the morning, if the first hour of your day you are on some type of social media app, baby, you need to change your mental environment. Because I'm going to tell you something. If y'all see what's going on with the world, life is not a game. Far from it. It's very serious times right now, right? So you have to get into a place where you are non-negotiable about your self-development. When people get in my car and I'm listening to an audio book or self-help, I don't care if Napoleon Hill's voice sounds weird to you. I'm not cutting it off. I'm going to listen to it. And I'm going to develop my mind. So you guys have to figure out, what are you going to do at the beginning of the day to develop your mind so that you can change your mental environment. Right? So then we have your spiritual environment. And you can subscribe to whatever religion or belief that you want. But whatever that is, what are you doing spiritually to lift yourself up? What does your spiritual environment look like? Do you pray? Do you meditate? Do you talk to the higher power that you believe in? Or are you just rushing and going through the motions and letting life take control of you? What are you doing to change your spiritual environment? Because that spiritual environment plays a big role on that mental environment. And vice versa, that mental environment plays a big role on your spiritual environment, right? So there are certain environments that you have to change before you can even say, hey, I want to go live over here and create a new life. Because guess what? If you're the same person in a different city, you're going to get the same results. It's just going to be different faces in a different town. It's you that has to change, not the place. The place is just the place. It's the person that makes up the circumstances of the place. Right? And then you have to change your social environment. And this is probably one of the hardest ones because people are so used to people pleasing, or some people need outside validation to make their own decisions in life. And if you are that type of person, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to ask you, like, I heard of one of my crypto educator, the person that teaches me crypto, yesterday. If you guys were on the master class, type of 1 in the chat. Shout out to everybody that was on the master class yesterday. But did y'all hear what Crypto Corey said? He said, stop taking advice from people that you wouldn't want to trade bank accounts with. Stop taking advice from people that you wouldn't want to trade lives with. And that's the thing about social environments. Sometimes what's keeping you down is your need to please people, or your need to have external validation outside of yourself. And there's nothing wrong with getting advice, but are you getting advice from somebody that's actually worthy of getting advice from? Are you actually getting advice from somebody that you would want to trade bank accounts with? You would want to trade lives with? Are you? Are you? You know, so that was a big thing that he said, because sometimes Like, guys, listen. And I told somebody this one time. I said, listen, if your social circle is not, elevating you, you have to get in solitude and just start listening to the people that you aspire to be like, right? You may not have the means to be around that person in close proximity with them right now, but you can always emulate that person from afar just by listening and taking on the teachings and the philosophies of that person. Right? So change your social environment. And guys, you have to do this unapologetically, because it is some people, when you change, they're going to say to you what they said about me. You know what they say about me? I think I'm all that. And they're going to say that to you too. And you know what you say to that? I am all that. I am all that I want to be. That's what you tell them. I am all that. I am all that I want to be. You have to get in a mode. Like right now, you guys, if people are not in alignment with growth, if they are not in alignment with positivity, if they are not in alignment with authenticity and growing inside of their authenticity, I am not aligning with it. I am not answering my phone, and I'm not even explaining to you why I'm not answering my phone. We are not aligned, so now is not the time. And that is what you all have to do when you're creating these new environments. Because like I said, the physical environment is the last thing to change. It's the mental environment that has to change first. It's the spiritual environment that has to change first. And it's the social environment that has to change first in order for you to go and do anything else in life. Before I moved, right? Before I started taking trading seriously and made my first 5 figures to get me and my son out of the projects. Listen, I was in an apartment that I hated. I did not like that apartment, man. But you know what? I could not sit there and just dwell on the fact that I was in the projects. I had to change my mental environment and treat that apartment as though it was the townhouse that I wanted to be in. I had to treat that Honda like it was the Benz that I wanted to be in. Right? So I had to do that in order to change my environment, y'all. Environments is not just, before I could get out of that apartment, like, listen, y'all, I was literally in a physical environment that I did not like. And while I was in that environment, I changed my mental environment. I changed my spiritual environment. I started changing my social environment. And lo and behold, I was exactly where I wanted to be. I started getting into the environment that I wanted to be in. So you guys, listen, the change of the physical environment, your geographical environment, where you really want to be at, that's the last step. People ask me all the time, I want to move to Houston. I want to move to Houston. I want to come to Houston. Can you send me some apartments in Houston? Do you know what the job market is like in Houston? Oh my God, I hate living here. I want to move to Houston. And I always say, listen, it's not the place. It's the person. It's the person that has to change. It's the mental environment that has to change. The spiritual environment that has to change. All of those things have to change before you can even consider thriving somewhere else. Because I always tell them, baby, Houston not for the weak. Like, y'all just think that this is just a tourist place. No, baby. You could come here and get caught up in the wrong stuff. If your mental is not right and if you're not aligned with what you need to be aligned with. I remember I was actually gonna have a photographer from Florida that I knew come down here and record some content, record me doing some business and stuff. And so y'all would not believe. I was like, yeah, I've been in Houston. He was like, how long you been in Houston? I was like, I've been in Houston since 2020. I was like, are you still, doing videography? Because I want you to come down here and, I want to work with you. I want you to, film me out and about. Dang, you live in Houston. Have you been to the pool parties yet? I'm like, huh? He's like, yeah, they got the biggest pool parties in the world. And I'm like, no. I'm like, I had no idea what he was talking about, y'all. Because I am not in that world. I'm not in that world, baby. I am in the world of getting to a bag. I am not in the world of partying and lollygagging for free. I'm not in that world, right? And so that's when I realized, that people are in their own environments, in their own world that they created. But guess what the beautiful thing about that is? You have the power to create your world too. When people ask me about Houston, I'm talking about the business and the networking events and the connections that I've made. And, I'm talking about stuff like that. And you may talk to somebody else and they may have a whole different story. And so it's not the place, it's the person. So on this day, are you going to decide that you're going to change your environment? Are you going to not only change your physical environment, but are you going to change your mental environment, your spiritual environment, your social environment? Because those three things have to change first. I'm telling you, baby, you could get approved right now for the house that you want or the car that you want. But if your mind is the same, your heart and your spirit is the same, you got the same friends that aren't elevating, that's going to be very short-lived. You have to change. Before you can change your geographical environment, that has to change. You guys, when I was in Florida, I'm telling y'all, I knew it was time for me to change geographically because mentally I wasn't even there no more. Mentally, I was way up here. Mentally, I was already checked out. I just told myself I need to put myself, now that I've developed myself, now that I've listened to so much Napoleon Hill, Jim Rohn, Robert Greene, Norman Vincent Peale, baby, I listened to all the personal development gurus. May God bless their soul. I listened to all of them. So I was already mentally elevated outside of that environment that I was so used to. Y'all, I had another call where I said this. You have to OD on PD. You have to overdose on personal development. In order for me to trade, man, I have to have discipline. People get in there like it's a casino and just get the clicking buttons and they see I'm talking about, you have to have discipline. But if I wasn't personally developed, I could not be a profitable trader in this skill like I am right now. I had to personally develop and have some discipline. So you guys, you have to OD on PD. And you have to change all of your environments. Because I'm telling you, if you're the same person and then you go to a different environment, I'm telling you, you're going to get the same results. You're just going to be in a different place. That's it. So we have to change our environments, guys. We have to change. The first thing, we change our mental environment. Get up, listen to some personal development. I'm talking about listen to it over and over in your car, while you cleaning up, when you go to sleep. Listen to personal development. It will change you. It will literally change you. Okay? Get you a spiritual routine, right? Get you a spiritual routine. Pray. I don't care if you meditate for 5 minutes, right? Some days I meditate for 5 minutes, or I may meditate for 10 minutes. Find you something. Pray. When I get in my car and I put my hands behind the steering wheel, I promise you, when I'm driving in traffic, I'm praying for my son to have a good day at school. I'm praying for the people that I come across, that they have a harmonious spirit. I pray for discipline in myself. Give me the strength. You know, what do you do in the morning to lift yourself up spiritually, okay? So your mental environment, your spiritual environment, your social environment, you have to get away from people. Sometimes people are distractions. And you have to get away from them. And there's nothing wrong with you being selfish with yourself and with your time. It's nothing wrong with that. It's nothing wrong with you not answering the phone, because that person, you're going to end up gossiping on the phone with them for 45 minutes talking about everybody else but yourself. It's nothing wrong with not answering the phone for that person. It's nothing wrong with not going out to the happy hour, because y'all not going to be talking about nothing but man problems anyway. It's nothing wrong with skipping that happy hour and staying home. It's nothing wrong with it. You have to get serious about yourself. You have to be selfish about yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. And once you change your mental environment, once you change your physical environment, once you change your social environment, then you will be ready to change your geographical, physical environment. No, you don't have to move out of town like I did, but you maybe just want to live in a better place. Or maybe you're already in a nice place, but you need to fix your mental, your spirit, and your social circle, and then you can elevate, and now you can appreciate what you have that you asked for. But all of those environments have to be changed. Gandhi said, you cannot do right in one compartment of life while you are occupied doing wrong in another compartment of life, because life is one indivisible whole. Life is a whole. You can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. Y'all looking at what's going on with the world, this is not the time to play. You need to be socially, you need to be personally developed. And you need to be focused and disciplined. And that comes with changing your environment. So you guys, this is my mindset and money talk. You guys, new environments, new life. Go listen to you some personal development today. Go meditate today. Go write down what it is that you want to do in life, and decide that by any means necessary, you're going to get that done. You're going to take the steps and do what needs to be done. Do it today. Right? Do it today. So I'm so happy and I'm so excited. I can't wait to see, I can't wait to hear the transformations. If you guys, listen, I'm going to give y'all what I listen to in the morning. Y'all go on YouTube and y'all type in, I love Bob Proctor. Y'all type in Proctor Vibes. Y'all type that in the comments. Like, I'm going to give y'all some homework. My 9-year-old son even like this. He be like, Mama, can you turn on Proctor Vibes? Go on YouTube. Type in Proctor Vibes. VIBES. Listen to Proctor Vibes on YouTube, guys. It's a playlist. It's a personal development playlist. Very short videos. You're going to be elevated once you listen to it. That is something that I listen to on the daily. My son loves to listen to it. Y'all go listen to it. And while y'all let it, go to my YouTube and watch my stuff as well, okay? So that is what I have for you guys today. And I cannot wait to see how each and every one of you has transformed your mindset and money just from being tapped in, right? Just from being tapped in. So I got some announcements and I have some treats for you guys, okay? So one thing about me, I do not like to gatekeep. If I know something and I could be the resource, the plug for you to find out what it is that you can do to elevate your life, I will do it, right? So there's a 3-day free masterclass. The first day was yesterday. The second day is today. Tomorrow will be the last day. So if you guys have not gotten the information to get into the masterclass, just shoot me a message, DM me like, hey, what's that masterclass you were talking about on live? And I'll go ahead and send you the information. Also, if you're in Houston and you know somebody that is interested in trading and investing, or if you know somebody that wants another stream of income, but they don't know how they're going to get that, tell them to DM me. We're going to have an event this Saturday from 1 to 2:30 p.m. at the headquarters of the company that I use to learn trading and investing, right? I'm going to be hosting an event there. Afterwards, I'm going to have a 20-minute Q&A session, okay? I'm going to have a 20-minute Q&A session, so I want everybody who is able to, if you're in Houston or surrounding areas, I want you guys to come out, and I want you guys to ask your questions. Like, write them down and have them ready, locked and loaded for me, because I cannot wait to interact with everybody this Saturday, okay? So you guys have a beautiful day. Let's work on changing our mindsets so we can have a new life. Let's work on changing all of those environments that we talked about so that we can be living the life that we really, really, really want to live, okay? See you guys later on.